So a few years ago, a friend of mine was going through a contentious divorce. Her daughter was experiencing some challenges. They had some financial struggles and things were really rough. And she called me and she asked me about coming to the church I was serving at that time. And I said, well, honestly, with everything going on, I think you need a church close to you. So I said, why don't you try Tapestry? It's not very far from you. And she said, great. And she and her daughter were really excited to come here. So I told her where it was. And she showed up on a Sunday morning. And I didn't hear anything back afterward. And I thought, what happened? So a few days later, I messaged her and I said, how was your experience? And she said, well, it was nice. The people were nice, but it wasn't quite what we were expecting. And I said, okay, what happened that was different than you expected? She said, well, there was just a lot of talk about, a lot. And she said, and I'm okay with it, but there was just a lot of talk about Jesus. And I said, well, that does happen in a UU church from time to time, and we talk about a lot of things from a lot of different religious traditions. But the more she talked to me about her experience, the more we finally figured out that she had ended up on the other side of this building. So much for that fresh start, right? Sometimes it's a little more complicated than that. But the good news was that she did come here the next week. And in fact, I've even seen her name tag out there. So I know she was welcomed very robustly and she had a lovely time, but then ended up moving away. So wasn't able to attend here any longer. But I think it shows that sometimes when we are seeking that fresh start, the beginning of something, we're not always in control of all the elements that we'd like to be in control of. Things happen, right? Sometimes we take a little detour from where we think we're going. I think people seeking Tapestry find when they get here that warm spirit that they're looking for, especially in our complicated world. And that work, that welcoming, that tending, that showing up, that's the primary work of a congregation. It's one of the ways that we're able to meet people where they are. And as we've heard this morning about all of just the little glimpses into all of our own journeys of loss and joys and sorrows and triumphs, we recognize the complexity of any person's journey, any person who finds their way to Tapestry. I know this morning that many of us are carrying deep concern about what is happening, what's unfolding in our world. I know the news about Venezuela was something that we woke up yesterday to and struggled to really hold. And I still don't have words that are as efficient and comprehensive and all-encompassing as I would like. All I can simply say at this moment is that it is a lot. And for those of us who wanted to start the new year with that sense of a fresh start, we're seeing that sometimes that fresh start is not available to us in the way we might have ordered it up. But that's okay. It's part of the human experience. And I'm not sure we ever really, truly have those complete fresh starts that we envision. Usually we are holding things that come with us along the way. So if that's how you're feeling, whether you've been here for years or whether this is your first time this morning, please know you're not alone. As much as we're welcoming in a beginning, we're also still holding the complexity of this moment. But the beauty of that is that we can hold it together. We have a whole year ahead of us, full of things that are unwritten at the moment, things that will unfold, some beautifully and surprisingly and inspiringly, and some that will devastate us from time to time. But it's all there waiting. And all we can do is figure out how we will meet those moments. Will we be a warm, welcoming, invitational presence to let the good things in life come to us? Will we be able to do that in our personal lives, and we'll be able to do that as a community? To be open to what may come and who may need to find us, who may have detoured somewhere along the way to finding our doors. It is a complicated time, but it is one that I believe we can meet with grace and openness and even, my friends, joy. And in that spirit, this morning, of welcoming in what may come, I have some word cards that our ushers will be passing out to you. Now, these are cards. You're not allowed to look at the other side of the card. You just have to take the word you get. This is about trust, my friends. Whatever word you get is a word for you to think about in the coming year. And sometimes, I'll admit, in the past, I got the word discipline one year. I thought, what's that about? The mind reels, eh? But whatever your word is, somewhere along the year, I've noticed, if you keep it by your computer or something, it will reveal itself to you and offer some kind of meaning in your life. It's an opportunity to focus on something that may be a bit of a guidepost along the way. And I invite our ushers to come forward now and start passing these out. And as you receive your word, I hope that you find a word that offers some sense of steadiness, that offers maybe a place of growth, but helps you to meet this coming year with intention, and let us not forget, with joy. That's really important. And may this community continue to become more of the best of who it is, so that those looking for us find not perfection, but a place ready to embrace them.